Hello, my patrons or whoever decides to listen to me. I this video will be a reflection or a memo to myself um, about part of my life that I must express and say, bring out to the opening. And what brought this about was watching a video on YouTube from this Hindu monk guy. I don't know his name. I'm looking on it. Uh, where it's titled "Watch Out Why Sexual Pleasure is an Illusion" by Swami Sivananda on practice of Brahmacharya. I don't know if I'm saying it right, but Brahmacharya. So basically, he's saying how having lust, sex, blah blah blah, is not an illusion. It's temporary, and down the line, it always becomes poisonous to your life, and it destroys you. And I want to admit the fact that part of what he's saying, I'm trying to be nice about it, but hey, most of it is kind of true in a sense. I mean, I've throughout my life having sex with just men um, has brought me nothing but temporary relief, temporary satisfaction, but on the long haul, it has not really benefited me like I would have thought it would have. Even with the one that I'm in, the relationship that I'm some call in, it hasn't been as fruitful, as fulfilling as I would have thought it would have been. Even the fact that yes, I have been in my times that I was in the relationship, been the one kind of stepping out of the relationship from time to time. It has happened. But despite all that, I have realized I was mostly the driving force in that relationship, and that I can't help but be a type of go getter or try to do things to achieve a higher state of living in the current in my own life and as well as his life. Um, and to just try to be more successful, even if it is the fact that it's all pointless. Whether you, how much you achieve or how much you acquire in this current material existence, I still wanted to because I want to at least leave uplifting, enlightening, and encouraging message with all the things that I do as an artist. So part of that is, and the reason why I'm still willing to want to continue to exist in this world and not slit my fucking throat over this, is to is to leave something with people or to inspire another to actually be who they are in themselves and not be afraid despite of the risk or even losing your life over it. Because you're not promised anything. You're in the end you're gonna lose everything. So at least you know you can keep you can leave something behind that can help others. But I'm deviating from that. The point of it is, I have an issue with the current agenda that has been pushing. Not this, but that video with the Hindu monk inspired inspired me to make this video and to say this. Okay, and the thing of it is that I know I have a choice like anyone else to try to go this right path of the stereotypical way of living, which is being heterosexual. But the thing of it is, and I have witnessed and have seen, that even with that lifestyle is no different or any better. In fact, it can cause even more eruption and disruption and hurt for not just the woman and the man, but for the offspring that they decide to bring in this earth to suffer with them. being the fact that majority of them are not ready for a child or ready to provide financially for the child and the woman, or the woman provided for the man and child. And if that does happen where both parties decide to take care of the child, there's always going to be some form of disdain and refrain and oppression involved due to the fact that the child don't have their parents most around them to help nurture them. So the child have to often seek belonging or approval from the next person, or adults or children, peers. And then that involves even more psycho pain, because that child likely is going to experience trauma, because in this world you cannot go without experiencing some form of a trauma or problems. So for people to even push the fact that heterosexual is the way to go is by far foolish to me, due to the fact that you're still going to experience issues and problems, and no amount of God or religion can validate that this is even better, because your life will show you that it's not. Um, Throughout your experiences in your life, likely you're going to experience hella disappointment, whether you with another man or with a woman, or for women another woman or man. There's always going to be some type of strife or problems and issues. So for anyone to just say that my life, I am undeserving of any blessings from any deity or God or being, you got to look at the fact that their their life is not better. They're not one without seeing themselves. So I did think and consider that maybe if I was with a woman, blah blah blah, would I experience a more profoundly better life? Would I experience um, more achievement? Would I be pushed to achieve more? And in some cases, maybe I would. Maybe I would be more productive and successful. Maybe, but that doesn't come without issues and problems in itself. That doesn't come without me feeling the fact that I'm still alone, having to tackle this world alone, and doing what I'm doing as far as achieving my goals and my dreams. Just because I'm with a woman, it's 9 out of 10. She probably ain't gonna be as helpful like I would want her to be. Or maybe she would nurture me more, because women have a tendency to want to be a nurturing capacity. So, and it's according to what type of female I would have gotten. But I know by my taste, as far as a female, I probably would have gotten a woman who's more on a more nurturing, passive side. Not saying that I can't handle a passive aggressive female. I just know based on my current characteristics, that's the kind of woman I would want. Is more passive, and I have thought about certain women that I could unionize with, because that's what it is. It's a union between a man and a female, and I thought about doing that, thinking that my life would have been better or changed, and it may have, but it's not a guarantee. That's what I'm trying to get at. And that's the problem with this agenda trying to push for young people to be um, go the right way, and trying to promote this traditionalist agenda, which is to conform everyone to a mode of what they should be. You're the masculine energy or feminine energy, you be man or female, that's how it's supposed to be. But the thing of it is, with the traditionalist belief, is that people are still not going to be happy, because they're subconsciously knowing what they really want and desire. And you already know this before. I learned this. I know this at a very early age, since I was about 3 or 4. I knew I really desired males, even though my household did not nurture that possibility of being homosexual. They was against it because it was a religious belief as well as societal belief. Between both of those oppressions and being in the black community that really shuns on being homosexual, that made it very hard for me to really embrace it as a positive side of me. So I always find a way to try to reject that as much as I possibly can, even praying to God to to get this out of me, and to try to force me to be with a girl. And I've gotten girlfriends thinking that it would go away. But the truth of the matter is, It doesn't go away. There's nothing you can do, no amount of pussy, no matter no amount of dick for females can exercise this gay demon out of you, quote unquote. Okay? So you either live your life being always suppressed by this true emotion that you really desire, or you find the courage and muster up and find and do it anyway, despite of the rejection, despite of possibly losing your life over it. I decided to stay with the fact that I am who I am, and I'm not going to change that for anyone. I can't. It's not possible. And the only way I can call myself trying to be with a girl is that she's open to the fact that, hey, I might want to have sex with a man one time or two times out of a year or something like that. That's how it's gonna roll with me. I am up for polygamy. I am okay with that. Have a man and a female in a relationship, 2, 3 partners, throuples, okay? But for you to just say, hey, people, the truth of the matter is parents, especially parents, and people religious or whatever, who's traditionalist, whatever. The thing of the matter is, and the truth is, you want a person to subconsciously to hide that true desire subconsciously, and to just embrace the traditionalist life fulfilling completely, and to lie to themselves their whole life just to fit what you approve of, what they approve of as well. That's the life they should be living, and those children should follow it regardless of their desires for the same sex. They do not care if you have that struggle within yourself, as long as you abiding by the formalities of the way to live. That's all that matters, because they know better and you don't, and that's where your resilience and strength comes in as an individual person. And I used to be a feel sorry for DL men and all that other bullshit in between, or people who decide to oppress that side of them. I did, but now I don't, because I fought really hard despite of being rejected by my family or friends or anybody. I just I did it despite of, because I have that strong will, and I'm rebellious by nature and a free spirit. So I found it in me to embrace that part of me openly and freely, and to be myself. Everybody has that same opportunity and chance, despite of the environment, despite of anything, any adversity, despite any adversary that comes in their life. They have the right, just like I had the right, to fight, to be who they are despite of. They choose not to, but they choose other things to risk their life for. Drugs, hoes, bitches, you name it. Gangs, all that good shit. That other stuff that is just as bad or even worse. Okay? Or you can die for that. You can die equally. You can just die walking outside. And especially with this COVID going on, you can die walking, working, or going to the store and then it's contracted and then you fall dead from COVID. Like, are you serious? There is no time to be so conservative and passive about these things, because you are here on this earth. You have a right to exist who you are, just like anybody else do. And no, nothing or no one should change that, because we all have it in us. We all have this light in us that we have the right to shine as who we are, not as what they want you to be. Because the moment you do that, you're living a lie. And if you think that's being safe and being okay and to be accepted by a majority, believe me, there's always somebody gonna have something against you. Always. There's nothing you can do to win everybody's approval. That's impossible. So why lie to yourself thinking that you're fulfilling the need or for others or winning their approval? Because in the end, you can't satisfy. They're gonna still reject you the moment you don't do something that they don't want you to do. It goes for your family or your parents. So I'm telling this, I am representing myself. I am allowing myself to express who I am, to be that beacon of enlightenment for others, for another, to encourage them not to be something that they're not. And that's all I'm saying. That even at the age they want to say that you can't decide these things, because you're your own body. As a child, you your own body. I went through that. I understand. I know because I've experienced it with my own self being a child. It didn't have nothing to do with somebody must have touched you, molested you, blah blah blah. No, and I had some of those events, yes. But guess what? I knew it was. I knew what I was, and I knew subconsciously I actually liked it. I was just too afraid to act on it because first off, I'm still a child. You're not supposed to have sex with anybody. Okay, all these different teachings are the ones that oppress me from really accepting that part of me. And there's ways to accept that part of you without having to do an actual sexual act. That's what I'm saying. I knew this before I was ever exposed to any sexual act whatsoever with another person. When I was exploring myself, when I looked at the TV, when I looked at a cartoon, when I looked at my brothers, when I looked at any male, I knew it was a click. Yes, I tried getting with girls. I like looking at girls. It just wasn't the same. They're not the same. I can't help. I was wired and was born this way. I know people don't believe and believe that the homosexual activity or homosexual thinking was learned. Not you're not born with it, but you're born with it. And I'm going to say it as many times as I want to. Pop, pop, pop. And I do it again. And again, I'm going to say it because it needs to be said. This needs to be said. Because what is happening is people trying to control other people like they're God. And they're not. You're not God. You maybe think you're God, but you're not the only God. If anything, we're all gods. We're all fragments of God. So my God will clash with your God. And it will lose. Because you know you're a lie. You're a liar. And whoever comes for me, they're lying. And they know they're lying. Because they're in denial of their damn selves. So I'm going to say it. Because it needs to be said. And please stop. Please, please, for the love of God. Stop with the what's the point of homosexuality? It's pointless. It's pointless to be straight. It's pointless to always give birth to funky ass kids. Too many kids that you can't take care of. It's no point because the fragility of life it's fragile. No one's going to live forever. I don't care about race because in the end we're all going to die anyway. This existence is temporary. It's pointless. So you might as well live your life the way you want to live it. And stop trying to live for the approval of other people. And that's the problem. You just don't want to admit to yourself that you have desire for the same sex as much as the opposite sex. Or you just mostly have desire for the opposite, for the same sex. Why is that such an issue to people? Stop trying to, with this false urgency, to conserve a race. Or conserve the human race or the people. Because it's pointless. If humans going to be here, they're going to be here. If a person wants to impregnate a woman, she's going to impregnate her. Believe me, there's no way in hell being gay is going to convert every man to be gay. Bisexual, trisexual, occasional hookup. But you don't want them to do that at all. But I feel a female do the same things, exploring themselves, do that, and openly express that, and it's okay. But it's a problem when a male do it, especially a black man. I don't understand. The black community is so to consider themselves so free. We're so oppressed. Y'all, the world thinks that we're very free people. We're not freeing at all. We're not nurturing or compassion like you think. It's all a facade, it's all lies. To a degree. I met some nice black people, actually, compassionate and expressive and understanding. But the community as a collective, we have a long way to go as far as expressing differences or accepting differences and still fighting for your own brothers and sisters regardless of their status or background. Because uh, let's say, just to make up an issue. Well, no, I'm not making up any issues, actually. But let us say a trans or a gay man get attacked by the same police for the same or similar reason as being black or being a profile for not just being black but being gay too or trans. The black community don't feel compelled to fight for them because let the gay community, let them alphabet communities do this shit because they confusion anyway. Let them help each other. See, that's the problem right there. It's like people are just determined to differentiate between one another instead of trying to come together to fight something. That's the only way we can outbeat uh, injustice. Coming together, regardless of you're a different race or whatever. But the problem is, people want division. Some people want division because they'd rather have division than to hear the truth. And the truth stings and it hurts. That's the problem. That it hurts. And because it hurts and they can't accept the truth, they'd rather have the separation because they're safe. That's a form of control because people want control. And you think by oppressing other people, especially males, you think that's going to make them more productive or be more resourceful people in society? No, you're wrong. I also heard a YouTube video about that, oppressing people and suppressing their sexual appetite, their emotions and stuff, or oppressing one forces them to be more creative and express a passionate person in their crafts or in their to pursue being productive to what I call guide their efforts or their energy towards something more productive. So if you oppress one thing, they're gonna use that oppression, that energy, and channel it into something else that is productive and propel society into a new age. No. If anything, that's gonna build more anger and animosity, disdain, resentment. All those negative emotions will start building up until it explodes like a fucking virus or a toxic nuclear explosion. And it's gonna devour a lot of people in a very negative way, and it's gonna bring more. Believe me, people naturally have a desire to be productive. They have a natural desire to want to grow and change and move the way they want to, not the way you want them to. And then that is the stem of it. That is the problem, because you want them to move the way you want them to move, and that is why they build these agendas and these ways to control. And so I'm telling you, my brothers and sisters from different mothers and fathers, different races or whatever, or blah blah blah. I'm telling you, it's time to fight because they're trying to take everything away from you. Why are you in this funky existence? So fight to be yourself. You may think I'm just being paranoid, trying to push an agenda, or being gay. You can believe what you want to believe. I'm done trying to be so safe, passive about this, and try not to offend folks. Fuck it. Because y'all don't have no apology when y'all offend folks when you say what you say. So it don't matter anymore. Just wake up, because the more you try to be passive and docile about this, the more they won't stop over you. They won't stomp over you. They will happily grab you and throw you wherever they want you to, if you allow them to. It's too many things working against people being who they are.